What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Boozer here. Thanks for stopping by. Happy Monday, by the way. Hopefully you guys are having a good start to the week. Let's jump into some Plarium news that they dropped for us this morning. We got 2 summoning events, 1 per day during the CVC. Speaking of CVC, if you guys are interested in checking out my CVC stream, usually I stream right after when CVC starts, usually a couple hours after, depending on when I wake up. It's pretty early for me in the morning, but definitely try to make it a thing where I try to get up and just do a couple hours of streaming, hanging out, and just answering some questions and chilling with everybody. So make sure you guys drop on by if you guys like the streaming format. But yeah, let's check out the news that just dropped today. All right, so here we go. So on day 1, we got a couple champions here. It's kind of interesting. I think the theme is like continuous heals. And it looks like maybe like, I don't know, A1s, continuous heal ally attacks or something like that, A1 ally attacks. But let's check this out. So Cracklin is a pretty new champion here. It's from the Ogren Tribe support. His A1 brings a heal reduction and then a team up with another Ogren Tribe. So depending where you use him and depending what Ogren you have, it can be really, really strong. Cracklin's kit seems kind of good for Fire Knight. So if you bring like Blizzard with him, then you basically have an extra multi-hit champion that you can bring with his attack. Also, heal reduction is good for Fire Knight. His A2 decreased attack and weaken, also increased duration of the ally heals. Nothing too crazy here, but can be okay. His A3 3-turn cooldown with a reflect damage and then continuous heal and a big heal and restores max HP. So overall, really strong kit, I guess, for Fire Knight. Yeah, exactly. And his passive, not too crazy, but whenever a continuous heal buff is activated on an ally, has 25% chance to decrease the duration of all debuffs on the ally for 1 turn. So not particularly insane, kind of like a niche condition for it to go off, but at least he can power his own passive. So overall, not too bad, but not too crazy. Seems like a Fire Knight specialist. After that, we have Duchess. Duchess, a little too up for grabs for the 15x events that are going on during CVC. I mean, Duchess, no introduction needed. She brings the continuous heals on the revive, block debuffs, increase attack, and veil on the A2. Still very strong. Not too many champions can veil your whole team still. A1, just a small shield. Great base stats overall. Still great champion. Although less useful now, I guess, since Narcisse in the arena at least. But for PvE, she's massive carry in like so many areas. After that, we have Ultimate Death Knight. Ultimate Death Knight up for grabs. Was a free champion at one point. Now not so free. But still very strong champion, especially for arena. He's actually really good just like general progression, like even like PvE content. Like for example, for Spider, he's just really good. A lot of content he can do. There's also like builds where he can like solo bosses by himself in the right build. So just a really strong champion. His passive is obviously what this guy's all about. All attacks become melee attacks. You gotta attack him first. Brings the A1 provoke, decrease attack and the fear, a little bit of CC on his kit. Nothing too crazy, but great champion, great passive. After that, we have Grand Oak Podrick from the Sylvan Watchers. Excellent champion here. He's actually one of, sorry, I'm in the wrong faction. He's actually one of the champions that I kind of underrated when they first announced him. Mainly because his ally attack wasn't strong enough in terms of damage. It didn't have the plus crit damage, plus crit rate, or plus attack from the other ally attack champions. Instead, he brought continuous heal, and then but his A1 is probably one of the biggest things in his kit, where he can basically reduce a big skill by 2 turns on somebody on your team. His A1 is incredibly strong, also bringing the cleanse and turn meter with increased speed. And his passive also cannot be overlooked. Incredibly strong and flexible passive. This champion is actually really strong, especially for Hydra, but generally just very good. I use him in Fire Knight Hard 10 as well as Hydra as well. After that, we have Nock the Paralyzer from the Dark Elves. He's actually a very good champion. He's a little bit underrated, to be honest. I think I picked him up recently. Yep, there he is. Really good champion. If you picked him up early, he's super solid. Decreased attack on the A1. He brings a sleep, which works against Sand Devil, just not Sand Devil 25 consistently. So you go sleep and poisons, and then his A3 ally protection with continuous heal, so you can even use him in like clan boss and stuff. Brings a bit of poison damage as well. Good base stats. Decent champion overall. Onto the Voids. The Voids are a little bit interesting here. We got Senna Amberheart. So I did a showcase on Senna Amberheart. When she first came out, and she actually kind of impressed me, to be honest. She got speed in all battles. She got turn meter, revive. This is actually interesting. Revive dead allies, and then it teams up with all allies, revived by this skill, to attack the enemy with the lowest HP. It's kind of interesting, but I don't think it's as good as it sounds. You get a little bit extra damage from it when you revive someone, but it's not something you can really control. So it's okay. It's a reviver. And then she does some boosting here. She does increased speed and turn meter boost. It's a pretty good boost, right? 20% boost with increased speed. So it's a pretty good boost. Boost and then revive, not too bad. And then she has even more boosting with the continuous heal mechanic on her passives. Actually, it goes pretty crazy once you pair her up with continuous heals champions. Great base speed, 113 right there. So pretty nasty champion if she is your booster. After that, we have another champion that I pulled recently. I think she's a Sylvan Watcher. Yes, Incenza Grail Bearer. Very strong champion, actually. I really like actually using her from my my limited playtest with her. Decreased defense and weaken on the A3. And then this increased speed, continuous heal, poison cloud, and turn meter boost. Really, really cool to give to protect the champion. Protect like a nuker or something. Just basically make sure that they get a turn. 50% turn meter boost here as well. Strong AoE A1 decrease attack with the ally attack joining in. Very strong, very, very strong support champion. Mine is built in Merciless plus Hex. So Merciless gives you more of the poison cloud, more of the decreased defense. And then Hex is very easy to apply with her AoE A1 and her AoE A3. Very good champion overall. Great base speed, 110. Lastly, for day 1, we are looking at Raka Vautai. Raka Vautai is actually an incredibly strong support. She actually gets overlooked quite often because there's like kind of better, stronger versions of her. For example, like Duchess, for example. But she's a very, very good support champion. Heals one ally with the lowest HP by 10%. Nothing too crazy on her A1. Similar to Duchess, but not as good as a shield, to be honest. A2, increase attack, shield, and a cleanse on a 3-turn cooldown. This is really good, right? This is really, really good. And unfortunately, no block debuffs. So if it was like block debuffs plus increase attack, that would be pretty strong. With the cleanse, that would be really, really strong. But you get a shield instead with the plus attack. Still good. And then she has a team revive on a 4-turn cooldown, 50% turn meter, 50% health, block debuffs right here when they come back alive. Like, so that's nothing too crazy. The negative part about this is that in arena on her AI, she uses this when there's no dead allies, so she kind of blows the revive. So she's not that good for like arena defense or auto play like that. So it's a little bit not so good. You need to preset her. Her passive pretty good for boosting turn meter and all that. But yeah, generally I think she's a really good carry. She brings the increased attack, she brings the revive, she brings the shields and cleanse, which is really strong, and then speed in all battles as well. So maybe not as like damage mitigating as Duchess, but still a very, very strong option. So that's gonna be day 1. So day 2, we have another similar theme here. So we have like cleansers on day 2, and honestly, a lot of these champions, like to me, like they kind of ring like Chimera. They ring Chimera to me. A lot of these champions, like they're support champions. They do a lot. They bring a lot of good debuffs. They bring a lot of good support to handle the Chimera. I think this is aimed at that. I don't know if Plarium knows exactly what they're doing in terms of what champions are actually going to be good in the Chimera, but some of these champions, they do seem like they might have a decent shot. But anyways, on day 2, we have Elva Autumnborn from the Sylvies. Elva, I think she's a like welcome back package champion or something. She's like $20. Back in the day, she was 20 sacred shards. She was like the first 20 sacred shard champion. A1 continuous heal, increased speed, block debuffs with the full cleanse on 3-turn cooldown. Very, very good ability here. Like it's similar to Raka, except Raka uses shield and increased attack. So it's a little bit different, but I think this one's a bit better with the plus speed here. And then she has a single target revive with 40% HP, 50% turn meter, and then increased defense, and then increase attack on a 3-turn cooldown instead of 4-turn cooldowns, which are usually reserved for team revives. Speed in all battles, and then this really annoying passive here, which is, really annoying. The Perfect Veil is really annoying as well. But she's a good champion. Too bad her HP is a little bit on the low side. If she was more like 22,000 HP, then you can kind of put her like in conversation with like, Sifi or Duchess a little bit, but because her stats are like 20% less HP than, or like 10% less HP than like Sifi, it's kind Yeah, it's kind of hard. But she has good base speed as well. Great overall champion. What's next? Next we have Pythion. So Pythion here, past fusion, of course, one of the better fusions of all time. Similar to Duchess in that he brings similar base stats. He has an A1 heal. He has an A3 cleanse with the block debuffs and a heal, which is really, really nice. And a team revive, similar to Duchess on a 4-turn cooldown, but instead of continuous heals like Duchess, Pythion brings strengthen. And a passive similar to Duchess as well, but instead of damage mitigation for area attacks, he just brings flat damage reduction for the buffs that you have on. Aura is not as good as Duchess, for example, but he's always been compared to Duchess, but Duchess has always been a little bit better in my opinion. But still a great champion for the Lizardmen. Let's move on. And then what do we have here? From the Dwarves, we have Underpriest Brogni, the old goatest of the goats. A1 HP burn, A2 increase, remove random buff and then increase the size of the shield. This is the big one. His shield is based off damage that he deals, and he can actually hit. The thing is, his attack stat is so small, it's hard to jack him up. But if you can make him hit really hard, he can actually grow his shield pretty significantly. 3-turn cooldown for a block debuff, increase attack shield. The shield's based on his max HP. But like I said, the grow is based on the attack, and his attack is based on attack. All right. So Brogni, great carry throughout. So if you get him early, he's great. Clan boss, he carries. He's even good in the Hydra content, of course. He's just or Doom Tower. He's just a really good carry. Brings all the necessary buffs that you need to go through all the hardest content. After that, we have Gwendolyn the Silent, the Owl. I actually used the Owl quite a bit in Hydra. She brings quite a bit of good debuffs here. She got the extension on the debuffs. She got the decreased speed, leech, decreased accuracy. Decreased speed is the big one because you want to get decreased speed on all your Hydra teams. And then leech is also a really good one. Decreased accuracy is like a bonus one, but decreased speed, decreased accuracy is really good. And then she brings increased accuracy, which is good as well, but it's kind of all like, total package, right? So she brings quite a bit. Her damage is not too insane. So even if you try to jack up this damage, it's not going to be too insane. The extra turn is really nice. It allows her to basically like debuff and then extend it. So it kind of works together in conjunction. She's a damage dealer, but she doesn't deal that much damage. But to me, she's kind of like a debuffer that can deal a little bit of damage. Like she has good base attack, but she's not going to be able to pump out like massive amounts of damage, unfortunately, even with the extra attack here every 3 skills. But user is a good debuff, especially for decreased speed. After that, rounding out the non-voids, we have Freya. Freya is actually really solid. I'm going to say, I didn't pull Freya yet from the fragments, but I will pull her soon. I've been seeing a lot more people use her, and she's actually impressed me every time she gets used. Her A1 provoke, she actually hits really hard as well. So if you gear her out to deal damage, she hits really, really good. She brings the increased defense and then shield. Her shield is big because she always pumps herself up with a defense, and she has a big shield coming out of this on a 3-turn cooldown. And then she brings a block debuff with a cleanse and a turn meter boost. And then her passive is really good as well. She gets the counter attacks when her shield breaks from damage, and then she can keep one of your champions alive. Overall, very, very strong support kit, but she can hit as well. So definitely a really good champion to have on your team. I think at any point in the game, so early, mid, or late, definitely a great, great champion overall. Coming to the voids here, we got Sacred Order, we got Cardio. One of the first like really strong champions I pulled on my alt account, carried me super, super hard, speed in all battles. Still one of the better 3-turn block debuff cleanses in the game. So he brings the revive on death, and then the revive can't be removed, protected. So still one of the better ones. He's a little bit of an old champion now, maybe like 3 years old now, but he's still aging pretty well. Team-wide heal, and then one of the better ally attacks. Maybe still one of the best ally attacks actually, because it does have reduction here, built-in reduction when he kills somebody. Decent base stats all around. He is attack based, and he can deal a little bit of damage as well. But great base stats, at least a lot of base stats, just not proportionate to any single stat, I guess. Not super high defense, not super high HP, not super high attack, not super high speed. But he has a little bit of everything in his kit. Overall, great support champion. After that, we are looking at the undead champion, Nekrit the Great. So Nekrit the Great. Since Bomb's coming back, Nekrit's still very good with his big-ass shields. Great base stats for a support champion. A1, decreased attack. Ally attack on his A2. And then big protection on his A3. Block debuffs, ally protection, strengthen. Cannot be removed ally protection. His passive obviously protects your lowest HP champion. So you can kind of tune your team to allow Necrit to always place the protection on that champion, like your nuker, for example. And that's kind of how he's used, right? So right now for me, like I use my Necrit with the bolster set. So if I need a shield, I bring my Necrit and then he just covers, you know, massive shields for the whole team, right? But still great champion, great to pull, great in all areas. After that, lastly, we have, again, from the Sylvan Watchers, Claydna. She was buffed recently, went from total garbage into something that actually kind of works. She has great base stats overall. She brings decreased speed and leech AoE on a 3-turn cooldown. So similar to Gwendolyn, in that she does the same kind of thing, minus the decreased accuracy. She also does a little bit of restore max HP on her A3. And then she does this 3-turn cleanse with the revive on death, similar to Cardio. So it's actually an interesting kit in that she has good debuffs and then she has good support here on her A3. Her A1 has a chance to sleep, so you can use her in Sand Devil, I guess. But, you know, I tried to make a team with her. It was a little bit difficult. I don't know why. It's just a little bit difficult to use the sleep and then come back around to use revive on death. I couldn't figure it out, but she is a possibility there. And then her passive is actually pretty cool too. Similar to like Sepulchre Sentinel. Chance to block incoming damage, which is interesting. And then HP in all dungeons, big one, big aura there. But cool support. She went from like total trash and she got buffed, and now she's like, you know, fairly reasonable, right? 3-turn cooldown, and then 3-turn cooldown here, so fairly reasonable. She is a void legendary, so you kind of expect a little bit more, but she is fairly reasonable. All right, guys, so that's gonna be it. Those are the 2 events coming to us for the next 2 days during CBC. Like I said, guys, I will be streaming shortly after CBC starts. So make sure you guys drop on by if you guys are interested. Make sure you guys come by and say hello. Let me know how you guys are gonna do in CBC. I know it's a non-personal reward. It's not gonna be insane. People are not gonna go all out, but there is a Dungeon Diver event with the Primal Shard at the end of it, and we have that up for grabs. And of course, we have the fusion happening. We have the Ice Golem, and all this stuff happening. Champion Chase. Who knows what's gonna happen with the Champion Chase? Maybe people will go crazy for the 5-star soul here. Look at this guy. Look at these people, man. Vermini, 17,000. I'm gonna chase him down. No, I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna do anything like that. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. Appreciate your time as always. Hopefully you guys have a great rest of the day, and I'll see you guys in the next one.